Good Monday morning, everyone. I'm laughing just because I had started about 3 or 4 minutes ago and was talking, and I had not turned on the microphone yet. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to Real Estate Grad School's First 15 at 8:15. We do this. We do these first 15 webinars every single weekday morning, Monday through Friday. For 15 minutes, we covered strong content for about 10 minutes of it, and we're going to get started with that real quickly. So let's go. All right. Last week, we covered how to have an exceptional start to 2016, and quite frankly, it's really not that hard. It is easy, okay? Or rather, it is simple. Well, you'll see. So we covered 4 steps last week. We're going to cover a 5th one today. Real quickly here, the first step was to know your goals. To start the year without a goal is like starting a vacation and not knowing where you're going to go. It's rather silly. It's almost like that's sort of ludicrous. You were planning to go somewhere on vacation. You started your vacation and you didn't know where you're going to go. So decide now. The earlier and more quickly you decide what your goals are, the stronger your year is going to be. Then we talked about knowing your goals. We talked about knowing some specific goals. That was last week. Then we talked about being in touch with people. The most important thing you can do, in addition to knowing your goals, is be in touch with people. Be in touch with the people who told you they're going to buy. Be in touch with all the people who you were working with last year but didn't buy yet, or working with last year but they didn't list or sell yet. Contact the people who said they'd wait till spring. Yes, it's only January, but find out what's going on with them. Find out how their holidays were. Find out if a move is still in their plans. Find out if they want to when they will want to get started. Be in touch with people. Be in touch with all the people you sold houses to last year. We talked about that last week. And then we said daily, start your day with an organized checklist, or rather start your day creating an organized checklist of the things your priorities for that day, the things you want to get done that day. And we have a tool called the Daily Organizational Checklist, which is the best tool in real estate for that. And we will forward that on, and that is what we went over last week. And lastly, last week we talked about sending out a sphere of influence mailing by January 31st. And the 5th step, by the way, those are easy. Why do I say those are easy? Because knowing your goals, once you know them, you know them. You glance at them every day. Hell, that takes you about like 10 seconds. Be in touch with people. Well, that's just normal part of your job. Pick up the phone and call. That's harder for some people than others, but the fact is it's simple. Start your daily with an organized checklist. Won't take you more than, as you get used to it, more than 10 minutes in the morning, and it will make your day much smarter and more efficient, and then get your mailing done. So these are not hard things, just very effective things. So we're going to cover 2 topics, one today and one tomorrow. These are both the easiest sources of your business. So today we're going to cover one, tomorrow we'll cover a second. The first one, the one we're going to cover today, starts with a business principle. So I'll slow down a little bit so you can hear this. This year's business, 2016, this year's business is most likely to come from the same sources as last year's business. So if you got most of your business last year from open houses, it's very likely this year you'll get them from open houses. If you got most of your business last year from websites, from Zillow and Trulia, etc., then you're most likely to get most of your business this year from websites. So this year's business is most likely to come from the same sources as last year's business. So you want to look and see where did last year's business come from to give you an idea of what would be the smartest things to work on. So because your growth is more likely to come from increasing the business from the sources, the current sources, the things that work for you. Now that's not exclusively true, and I'm going to give you 2 examples, one that shows that and one that doesn't. So first of all, when you use the tool we have called the success charts, when you use the success charts, you go to a page on the charts that has insights on your sales. We call them sales insights, and it says to you where your business came from. Let me show you an example of one. So this is an agent, and it shows where their business came from last year. So last year they had 10 pieces of business from expired listings, 14 from personal referrals, 7 from past clients, Let's just look here. So they had 21 from past clients and Sphere, 10 expireds. So very likely this agent's going to get most of their business from their sphere of influence and from working expireds. They may get some from the others. So people say, shouldn't they work on the others to get more from those? No. That's the business principle. You want to work more to get business from where your business came from. So here's a really good example. On the left and on the right is the same agent. In 2015, this agent, it's a client of Real Estate Grad School, made 18 sales. Okay, I need to move some things here so I can just see some things on my screen. There we go. So, and then in 2015, last year, they made 36 sales, doubled their business. So what did they double? If you look at past client, 4, personal referral 7, and other sphere of influence 1, that's 12 from their sphere of influence. This year they made 11, 16, 22. Oh, they doubled the amount of business from their sphere of influence. That makes really good sense. What was another strong source? Open houses. They had 2 each year. See, there are some sources that it's hard to get more from. I guess you could hold more open houses and better open houses. You absolutely could. But the point is, this person saw that they got most of their business from their sphere of influence, and 11 additional sales, 11 of the 18 came from their sphere of influence. Now this is interesting. They had 2 from house values or web listing referral. And they had 6 this year. They got more from that. So this is an agent who saw most of their business came from the web and from personal sphere of influence, and built that. They looked where their business came from, and they worked on that to get more business. Here's a different agent with a slightly different understanding. This agent made 50 sales in 2014 and 64 sales in 2015. And of that difference of 14 sales, look, 18 to 29, 11 of them were from expired listings, additional expired listings work. They said, look, expireds is working for me. I'm going to make that work even better. Now let's see, this year, sphere of influence, 8 and 4, other sphere, and past clients, 12, 14 pieces from sphere. This year, 6, 8, 9. So they actually did less from their sphere of influence. So they were really focusing on expireds and did less from sphere. The problem with that is that in order to get even more from expireds, they're going to have to really pound the phones even more, get a stronger, even another ISA, somebody making calls for them. And they're ignoring the piece of business that would be easy to ramp up without a lot of effort, without as much effort, and without having to hire more people. So this is an interesting agent because the growth is limited if they're going to try to get that all through expireds. So let's reach our point from today. This is a study of many agents over a fairly long period of time. And it shows down the left are all different sources of business: sphere of influence, internet, farm, open houses, relocation. And it shows, and I made these much bigger, because all of these agents in 3 different cities over a long period of time, over 50% of the agent's business comes from their sphere of influence. Now, a good chunk comes from the internet or advertising. Another good chunk comes from farm, but everything else is pretty small compared to the sphere of influence. Now, what about that agent or those agents who have a lot from expireds? Well, on one hand, when they get started, they're typically getting a high percentage of their business. But when you take a lot of agents over a large area, the number of agents who get the expireds and for sale by owners is fairly small. Why? Because the total number of expireds and for sale by owners is fairly small. So, working your sphere of influence means something very important. See, our attitude is very important to our business. Protecting your attitude is really important. So when you work your sphere, it means never hearing the question from anyone that knows you. No one that knows you ever says to you, "Are you still in real estate?" What a horrible question. People who would easily do business with you, people who already know you and trust you, not knowing you're in real estate, the business this agent loses by having that question being asked. When you ask that question, you know your sphere of influence work is not being done well enough. Or worse, hearing the question, Oh man, if I had known you're in real estate, if only I had remembered you were in real estate. My wife and I just sold our house, bought a much bigger house. My son just moved into town with his new wife. They bought near us. Holy cow, it's close to $1 million in business. We would have been happy to send you if only we would have remembered. So working your sphere of influence means you're never hearing the question from anyone that knows you. Now, working your sphere of influence means a lot of things. We're not going to cover all of these today. We spend a chunk of the year covering how to do each of these sphere of influence campaigns great. Okay? We cover a lot of things, and this is one of the things we cover well. But I want to cover a few of these quickly. I want to cover the easy ones. So when you are doing these things to your sphere of influence, you're perceived as an expert. And when you're perceived as an expert, when you do these things to remind people you're in real estate, people don't argue with you because they're eager to learn from you. They accept your advice. They want more of it. They eagerly listen to your ideas. They cite your ideas to other people. They tell others. They're proud to know you. They're proud to quote you. And agents who are perceived as an expert, they do business. When you're perceived as an expert, the people who know you do business with you, they want to do business with you. They refer you because they want to have a closer relationship with you because you're important to them and to other people. And you create all of that with your sphere work. So the goal is to be known and perceived as a real estate expert. That the people who know you perceive you as an expert about real estate overall and an expert right in the area. And then you need to be present as a respected professional. You need to be reminded them of that. And when you work with them, and when you speak with them, when they call you for advice, you need to be open and patient and generous and give personal attention and personal service. And you do that by doing a handful of fairly small things. Number one, we call it your referral reward system. You can manage this in the 10 minutes you spend each morning planning. You simply send a small note and a small gift, immediately as soon as you get the referral. So each morning you say, did anybody refer me business yesterday? And if they did, send them a Starbucks card with a small gift. Don't take a lot of time to think about what to buy them. Buy a bunch of Starbucks, Tim Hortons, your favorite bakery, whatever. Send a note and a small gift. Small gift. During the process of working with the person they referred, call them. Let them know how it's going with the person they referred. And then when you get paid, send or drop off a bigger gift, something more significant, so that it becomes a lot of fun and rewarding to send you business. And then 2 or 3 times a year, just call or drop by with a random gift to all the people who sent you business. So it is really rewarding, and it's a lot of fun to be a referral source for you. And then in addition to the people that sent you business, call, text, or email a minimum 1 or 2 even people in your sphere of influence every weekday. See, people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. So you just call, check in with people, see how they're doing. Listen for something being wrong, tension and impatience. If you hear it, just find out what's going wrong with them and get off the call. Don't ask for business. When you call people, take an interest in them. Talk about their forward, family, occupation, recreation, dreams, what's going on with them. And in addition, so we've talked about calling, texting, emailing, rewarding referrals, and just being in touch with people. Send personal notes. Hey, you know, it's really fun seeing you. Oh, it was great seeing you again at so-and-so's house for lunch on Saturday. You know, hey, I saw an article in the newspaper I thought you might be interested in. Here's the link to it, email, or here's the article, hard postal mail. See, there's 2 topics, and both are your easiest sources of business. Today I wanted to, we cover all this sphere of influence work in detail throughout the year, but today I wanted to just give you a quick overview to remind you, early in the year, be in touch with people. Speak to people in your sphere of influence. Text them, email them, call them. And get a sphere of influence mailing out, because your greatest source of business, your easiest source of business with the people who will do business most easily with you, man, you don't want to lose any of those people or any of the referrals. So let's get started and make sure you're on that. And tomorrow we're going to talk about the system for how to stop losing leads. I have a very strong agent in Buffalo, New York, who did about $7 million last year. I think it's her 3rd year in business. But she said to me, Rich, I know I lost another $10 million from leads I just lost. And by teaching her what I'm going to show you tomorrow, by coaching her on that, she's going to double her business this year without doing anything more than just capturing all the business that's already coming her way. Now, maybe you're not that fortunate and don't have that much coming your way, but either way, we're going to teach you today sphere of influence. That's how to bring it. Tomorrow, how to stop losing leads from every source. So continue your ingredient for your recipe of success today. Continue to contact your sphere every day. Step it up a little. Contact one more person in your sphere this week. And get your sphere of influence mailing out on time. And by on time, we mean by the end of January, no later than the middle of February. We will have a live Q&A call today, one right now at 8:30 and 11:30. If you're not already a coaching client, call us, email us, schedule a call with one of our people to talk to you for a half hour about your business, how to do better, and how coaching might fit into that. We have the most cost-effective comprehensive coaching on earth for just $49 a month with a $99 startup fee, or $4.99 for the year with no startup fee. You save a couple $100. You have more tools, more attention, more focus, more sales, more income than you would have with any other coaching program anywhere near that cost. So call us. We'll be happy to be in touch with you. For those that are coaching clients, I'll be on the live call shortly. Make a great day. Make a sale. And I will speak to you soon. Reach out if you need us. We want you to be the most successful agents possible, and you're capable of it, and we know that too. Be well.